So today, what I want to do for you is the ultimate 2023 iPhone guide in knowing which iPhone is best for you to buy in 2023. I'm going to cover all of the models that are available right now that are being sold on Apple's website and basically work out for you which iPhone is probably the right one for you. I've got a couple of them here, and the first one I'm actually going to cover is actually the cheapest iPhone out there, and also it's an iPhone of a very older design, and that is the iPhone SE. What is this red one that I have right here? So the latest iPhone SE came out in March 2022. Compared to the last generation iPhone SE, there isn't much difference with it. There's only two main differences between the last generation iPhone SE and this one, and that is it's got an A15 chipset inside it, what is the same chipset that we get inside the likes of the iPhone 13 normal models, what I'll talk a little bit about later on, and also it's got 5G capability inside. The actual design of this iPhone is the exact same design that we had in the last iPhone SE, and this is the same design that we had with the iPhone 8, and you could actually say this is a very similar design that we've had in previous iPhones since the iPhone 6 all the way to the iPhone 8, so really not much has changed. The great thing about this design though, it's reliable, it's something that you're used to, and if you are a person who's coming from say an iPhone 6 to an iPhone 8 kind of model, and you kind of want the same sort of familiarity of an iPhone, then this is definitely the best iPhone for you. Also, it's the cheapest iPhone out there to buy, and it basically gives you the full Apple experience if you love iOS, and it's in quite a good deal. So right now Apple do sell this iPhone for $429 US. Obviously in other countries it will be a different price depending on how much your country sells it for taxes and things like this, but the main thing I would actually say about this iPhone is that it's of that classic design, so it does come with a smaller 4.7-inch display. It also does have Touch ID as well, and it also does have a 12 megapixel camera snapper on the back. On the front though, you do also have a 12 megapixel camera too, but it's not as good as say compared to other models that we'll be talking about a little bit further on. For battery life, it isn't going to be the best, I'm also going to say that. If you are a heavy user of an iPhone or any phone, this battery will definitely deplete in a day for you. So yeah, you might want to make sure that you do have a charger on standby or a power bank to go with you. Other notable features to mention about this iPhone, it is basically wireless charging compatible. It's not MagSafe compatible, but it does actually have the ability to do wireless charging too. But for a great starter sort of iPhone, I do think it is still quite a good deal out there. But I would say if you can find yourself the last generation iPhone SE, the 2020 model, and you can get a really good price on that, say for example around $200 or something like that in a refurb condition, then it might actually be worth buying that, because like I said, the only main difference is a slightly faster chipset and also 5G capability. So that is the iPhone SE. The next iPhone I want to talk about is the iPhone 12. So this is an iPhone that came out in 2020, and it is still a great iPhone today. Apple dropped selling the iPhone mini, and they don't sell the iPhone 12 Pro 2 anymore, so it doesn't really exist. The only one that you can get is just the normal iPhone 12, and it is still a great model. It comes in at $599 US, and it also does have a 6.1-inch display on the front, what is really cool, and also you do get Face ID too. You do on the back get two cameras. You get two 12 megapixel cameras, you have an ultra wide, and you also have the standard wide camera, what are still pretty cool and pretty useful to take some good snaps out there. If you can stretch up your budget a little bit further to get an iPhone 12 over the iPhone SE, I would highly recommend it. Even though the chipset inside this one is also a little bit more slower, it does have the A14 chipset inside it, it's still a great phone, and it does actually also have 5G capability, and your battery life will definitely last longer with it. It's also one of the most current sort of standard designs that we have right now, so it fits in there with the family of the iPhone 13 and the iPhone 14 in this kind of design that you can see here. But overall, it's still a great iPhone to look into, and it's definitely, like I said, worth stepping up to if you can definitely afford it over, say, the iPhone SE, because you do get kind of like those extra cameras, and you also get that larger screen as well. And to be honest, overall, it's not that much bigger than the actual iPhone SE also, because basically it's a screen edge-to-edge design too. So then guys, just quickly, today I want to talk about IVC VPN, who is today's sponsor. And right now, guys, if you're aware, it is Black Friday. And also at the same time, you might be aware that the World Cup is on right now. Now, you're probably wondering, what on earth has a VPN and the World Cup got in common? Well, there is a big reason why both these items got something in common. And that is a lot of you guys are traveling around the world right now and wanting to watch, say, the World Cup in your native language with your famous commentators. And right now, Ivory have a fantastic offer for the next 5 years where you can get Ivory VPN for just $1 a month, or here in the UK where I'm from, it's only 80p. So this works out around about $60 for the whole 5 years, and with that you get a free 2 terabyte encrypted cloud storage, and you also get a free password manager on top of the VPN service. If you didn't know already, a VPN allows you to watch your favourite TV shows and movies from your favourite streaming services, for example. So if you are abroad, away on business or on vacation or holiday, you can tune into your Netflix account from your native country and continue to watch the kind of shows and the movies that you were watching already with no restrictions. Ivory VPN also offers 5,700 servers to pick from, and on top of this too, you also have a kill switch to cut off your VPN if you wanted to do that, and also there is the ability for split tunneling. So if you want to check out this fantastic offer, what's going on right now, it's giving you 90% off for 5 years at around about $1 per month. Do check out the link that I'm putting up right now on this screen, and also I'll be putting this in the description of my video. And with that, guys, it's back to the main video. The next iPhones available after this are the iPhone 13 series, and the model that I'm holding right here is the baby one. This is the iPhone 13 mini, and it comes in at $599 US. You might be thinking it looks exactly the same as the iPhone 12. Well, it basically does. It is the same kind of body. The main difference is probably the cameras on the back here in sort of a diagonal position, but that doesn't really change anything in how the actual cameras work or anything like that. It's just Apple updated the design. With the iPhone 13 mini, it does have a great display inside. It comes in at 5.4 inches, and this also does cost $599 US, the same price as an iPhone 12. But the main difference with this iPhone is that you do get the current A15 chipset of 2021, and also at the same time as well, you get some extra camera features like cinematic mode if you wanted to use that. Well, it's a pretty cool mode, but overall, it's the only mini that Apple only sell right now, and this is a small, dinky iPhone. And again, I would actually promote out there, being that the chipset inside this iPhone 13 mini is the exact same chipset as inside the iPhone SE. If you can spend out a little bit more getting an iPhone SE mini, I would rather say get that than the actual iPhone SE, because the battery inside this is bigger, the screen is bigger, but the overall design of the body is actually smaller than the iPhone SE. So yeah, if you can afford this, I would definitely recommend it. It does have a 12 megapixel front facing camera too, and it also does have an LED display on the front, which is pretty cool. There is also the bigger brother iPhone 13, and again, this is still a great iPhone. It has the exact same specs as the iPhone 13 mini, except for it comes with a 6.1 inch display, has a larger battery, and to be honest, that is about it. It comes in basically the same size as the iPhone 12, but everything else what I just explained about the iPhone 13 mini is exactly the same in the iPhone 13, and this is a great iPhone, and like I said, it only costs $699 US. So we're now moving into the latest and greatest iPhones, the most recent ones that have come out. And in 2022, we got the iPhone 14, and we also got the brand new iPhone 14 Plus, which replaced the mini series. We actually went to the opposite end of the scale and actually got a larger iPhone. The iPhone 14 and the iPhone 14 Plus, I would actually say, are the most trickiest iPhones to actually choose, because that last year we got the iPhone 13 Pro and also the iPhone 13 Pro Max, and essentially right now you actually got the exact same chipset in the iPhone 14 and the iPhone 14 Plus, what is the A15 chipset but has a 5-core GPU inside it. But what you can get is a refurbed iPhone 13 Pro or an iPhone 13 Pro Max at basically the same price as a brand new one of the iPhone 14 models. And except for that, you actually get a better camera and better things like this inside it, so it's quite hard to choose actually getting an iPhone 14 model. The iPhone 14 standard comes with a 6.1-inch display, and the iPhone 14 Plus comes with a 6.7-inch display. Well, it's the same sizes as we have with the Pro models that we got this year with the 14, what I'll talk about a little bit further on. There are some updates to the cameras. They're both 12 megapixel cameras on the back of the iPhone, but really there's not much difference compared to the last range of iPhone 13s. And this is why I'm saying it's possibly better to actually buy yourself an iPhone 13 Pro Max or an iPhone 13 Pro, because actually you get that ProMotion display inside. It allows it to go up to 120 Hz, and also you do also get that extra telescopic lens or that telephoto lens that allows you to actually take in more better zoom pictures. And actually the actual sensors inside the iPhone 13 Pro and the 13 Pro Max are actually better. But so if you can find yourself an iPhone 13 Pro and iPhone 13 Pro Max, personally I'd buy this over this phone or the iPhone 14 in my opinion. The iPhone 14 starts in at $799 US, and the iPhone 14 Plus starts in at $899 US, and that comes with a 128 gigabyte hard drive or storage inside it right now. So that is the baseline sort of iPhones you can get. So yeah, they are still quite good iPhones, and as you can tell here, I've still kept mine boxed because I'm not still sure what I'm going to actually do with my iPhone 14 Plus that I'm actually holding here. But with that out of the way, guys, let's now move on to the iPhone 14 Pro models. So the iPhone 14 Pro models are the top line best iPhones that you can get right now. And there are some changes that came compared to the last generation iPhone 13 Pro models. Probably the most distinctive change, what you can see here, is actually the kind of notches missing at the top. And we have something now called the dynamic island in the middle, what kind of sort of can change shape for basically activities that you do with interacting with the iPhone. What is pretty cool, I'm going to say that, if you've actually used it. The other main thing I would actually say as well is that the cameras are better on the iPhone 14 model than any of the other cameras out there in the whole full iPhone range, and they are really superb. Battery life is also amazing on this iPhone 2, and also you also get an always on display as well. And talk about that display, the iPhone 14 Pro comes in with a 6.1-inch display, and the iPhone 14 Pro Max comes in at 6.7-inch display. So it's the same sort of sizes that we've had since the iPhone 12 Pro models all the way up to the current iPhone 14 Pro models. There's been no changes there with the actual screen size, and overall the design, as you can tell again, hasn't really changed that much over the last sort of 3 generations. For prices, you can pick up the iPhone 14 Pro at $999 US at the moment, and this will give you 128 gigabytes. And you can also pick up the iPhone 14 Pro Max at $100 more at $1,099 US, and this will give you the 128 gigabyte storage option too. This iPhone has features like ProMotion, just like the iPhone 13 Pro Max has got, except for also that the ProMotion can go all the way down to 1 Hz, what allows it to use its always on display. There are also other noticeable things about the iPhone 14 Pro, and also these features are also in the iPhone 14 standard and the iPhone 14 Plus. Things like the emergency SOS satellite connectivity. So if you're out in the wilderness and you have to make a phone call and you've got no signal, you can do this via satellite. But at the time of making this video, this is only available in Canada and also the USA, but it is rolling out to other countries very soon, like the UK, for example. Also, it does have car crash detection built inside it. So if you do crash your car, then basically the iPhone can probably work that out and then also start calling emergency services on your behalf, what is pretty cool to be fair. But if you do want the best iPhone out there with the fastest chipset, what's the A16 chipset inside it, then definitely the iPhone 14 Pro or the iPhone 14 Pro Max is definitely the iPhone for you. And with that, guys, it's time to wrap up this video. So if you have enjoyed watching it, please do press the like button, and also at the same time as well, if you want to hear the latest Apple news, reviews and comparisons just like this one here today, then please make sure you subscribe to this channel too, and also hit that notification bell. Until next time, guys, I will see you really soon. Take care. Bye bye.